So Carolina, I kind of love this topic. I don't know if you're like, but we all have influencers our whole life. Sometimes they're in a second,
Yeah.
sometimes they're like a lifetime, and you'll appreciate this more. But so my grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, and my aunt all came from Kiev, and they immigrated to Canada years and years ago. And so we don't even know how many Ukraine relatives we still have, but that's another conversation. And but my grandfather used to take me for walks in the parks in Montreal when I was younger. And he talked to everybody, which I figure that's where I get that DNA now. But but one day I asked him, I called him Zeta. I said, how do you know all these people? I remember him totally, where he pointed at this guy coming up to me. He said, I smiled at this person, that guy coming now, and he came over to me and smiled at me, and we started talking, and someone else started smiling, we started laughing, and they came over and talked, and it just went on and on. And I'm thinking as a 5-year old, life's pretty simple. I just got to smile at people.
Smile, they're going to smile back.
Yeah, and then you start complicating it a little bit with your ridiculousness of growing up. And but it really is back to basics, like we
Yeah.
talked about, even just a smile. So excuse me.
It
So I know
lights up a
we
room. A smile can light up a room.
totally, and it physiologically, psychologically, it could actually affect
Yeah,
you.
I believe it.
I know you have a lot of influencers like we do. Could you share maybe two or three people that have been influential in your life?
Absolutely. One of the, I mean, and they're not people I've necessarily met,
Yeah.
others that I have, but one of them is, Jacinda Ardern, the New Zealand Prime Minister,
Hmm.
who I thought was just an unbelievable force to reckon with when she came in, when she had to deal with COVID, the way that she dealt with it. I mean, a no nonsense woman. And then she was strong and brave enough to show her vulnerability when it became too much for her and for raising a family and decided to step down. She is just an unbelievable woman that I aim to meet one day. Then I
I'm
want
going,
to
can I
say,
go to that meeting? Because I think she's fantastic too.
yes, yes, yes. Then I want to say Scott Mackenzie, who co-founded Amazon. Let's not forget, it's not just Jeff Bezos, it's his ex-wife as well,
Hmm.
who is just unbelievably generous, has given a huge portion of her fortune. And I think, the Elon Musks of this world could learn from a woman like this on what to do with your wealth and how to help others. So that's another woman that I strongly, strongly admire. She's in my book, she's not the wife of, she is her. And then I would say my mother, obviously, it's so cliche, right? But I will tell you why. I will tell you why my mother, because my mother is this unbelievably progressive woman, don't forget, from the Middle East. So I have photos of my mother in Beirut in the 1970s wearing the little Pucci mini dress, super sexy, beautiful long dress, and she couldn't care less. This is how I'm showing up. And very, she was really, I mean, she still is very, very beautiful. But, I think this is where I got my feminism from. Because although we were from a Lebanese Christian family, um, where most of our friends and other relatives were very traditional, and my father too, obviously, but my mom was always, the always sharp, always, and she's still, both my parents are still so vibrant even today in their 80s. So I think that is a great example. My father, I mean, the energy, that's where it comes from. It's my dad. So I think my parents were a huge, huge influence in my life. And there's not a week that goes by without me seeing my parents and talking to them. So, so happy and lucky that they live here now.
They sound awesome.
They are.
I love that. I love that. I think that's where you get your blue haired punk stuff from, is your mom.
Probably.
I think one thing we should always remember, and I can tell you do it, is we're influencing people all the time
That's
ourselves
right.
too. And a lot of times we may not even know it, but it's a choice. Do you want to be positive or not? And so, good job, and thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.